Good morning, Team Alabama. Here is another Achieve 3000. We're going to do space next today. And I'd like for you to go ahead and do the before reading poll. And we're going to talk about the vocabulary that you'll encounter today in the stretch article. The first one is chimerical, and it is wildly fanciful or highly unrealistic. Plutocrat is very wealthy businessman or tycoon. Port, on the left side of a ship or aircraft, is the port side. And starboard would be on the right side of the ship. Okay? Make sure you've completed your before reading poll. Please read along with me with the stretch article, and then you will do your article at your lexile level and complete the activity. Our goal is always a 75%. So, space next. The rocket's thrust presses you into your shuddering seat. Now you're glad that you did all those sit-ups during the week of rigorous training. The force eases, and the blue sky through the window gives way to darkness and stars. Until the captain's voice in your headset breaks your reverie, you can see the continent of Africa on the port side of the orbital hotel to the starboard, where we'll be docking in a few minutes. Thank you for blasting off with us, and we hope that you enjoy your space vacation. Believe it or not, such an adventure, which to some might sound chimerical, may no longer be light years away. At least one space hotel is already on the drawing board, with plans to begin construction within the next decade. Resembling a giant Ferris wheel, the extraterrestrial hotel will be like a cruise ship in space, featuring restaurants, gyms, sports arenas, and concert venues. A new generation of space hardware, rocket and payload technology, with the power to make such futuristic getaways possible, is already here. Such technological breakthroughs are poised to turn space tourism from science fiction into science reality. Space companies. Humans have been launching into space for more than 60 years, landing astronauts on the moon in the late 1960s and early 70s, and at the same time only two of the world's governments had the resources and infrastructure to fund and manage such a gargantuan undertaking: the United States and the Soviet Union. At the forefront was the National Aeronautic and Space Administration, better known as NASA, an agency of the United States government. In the 2000s, though, NASA and other international space agencies began teaming with private corporations to design and engineer innovations in space technology. Several companies have invested billions of dollars into the development of more powerful and efficient rockets to carry larger and more lightweight payloads, and they have been the drivers in establishing a space tourism industry. SpaceX emerged as a leader in the privatization of space tech, developing reliable, reusable launch vehicles. Its Falcon and Dragon rockets that substantially lowered the cost of space missions. It earned a role as the payload specialist for NASA, ferrying supplies, equipment, and crew to and from the International Space Station. Meanwhile, other companies like Virgin Galactic and Blue Origin are promoting flights in space planes to the edge of space and into orbit for non-astronauts, tourists, in other words. Tickets range from $250,000 to into the millions. So if you want to ride on this spaceship, it's going to cost you $250,000 to several millions. And celebrities and modern-day plutocrats have been lining up to make the cosmic trip. Fly me to the moon. In the foreseeable future, SpaceX plans to fly its new Starship heavy lift vehicle around the moon. A Japanese fashion mogul, Yasuki Mizawa, has already laid down the money to ride along on one of the missions. He may be the first space sightseer to see the moon up close, but in all likelihood he won't be the last, because if all goes well, NASA and SpaceX will collaborate to return humans to the lunar surface as part of Project Artemis. The intention is to establish a moon base for scientific research. Could a moon resort be far behind? The effort to colonize the moon may be practiced for an even bigger mission. The colonization of Mars again, private companies will take a leading role, and SpaceX is aiming at an uncrewed trip to the Red Planet as early as 2024, perhaps to drop off a first installment of supplies and gear. A mission with humans aboard is slated for the 2030s, and it now seems wherever astronauts fly, astrotourists eventually will follow. If the timing's right, perhaps you could be riding that rocket to the Red Planet, maybe piloting the ship yourself or eagerly snapping pictures from the window. Okay, there's space next. Please go ahead and read your article at your Lexile level and complete your activity questions at a 75% or higher, please. Have a great rest of your day, Team Alabama.